Welcome to this new video, where we're going to talk a bit about the latest news regarding Forza Horizon 6. Because this morning, the developers published a new article on the official Forza website, Forza.net, where they discussed the game's issues. Indeed, even though Forza Horizon 6 had an incredible launch in terms of the number of players and the number of games sold as well, and even though, overall, the reviews about Forza Horizon 6 are very positive, I think everyone would pretty much agree on that. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. But it's still a really great game compared to Forza Horizon 5. Despite all that, the game isn't perfect. There are things that aren't quite right, both in terms of gameplay and the game's stability, or bugs if you prefer. In this article, they explained which issues the developers are aware of, what will be fixed as a priority, and when those fixes are expected. Today, we'll quickly review the current problems with Forza Horizon 6. Obviously, let me remind you that if you haven't bought the game yet, it's 30% cheaper through my instant gaming link, which you can find below this video. That lets you save €40. On the purchase price of the premium edition, for example, you can also buy Game Pass PSN cards. In short, all games are cheaper through my link. And when you use my link, you support my channel at the same time. So if you enjoy my videos and want to give a little support, don't hesitate to use it. Indeed, Forza Horizon 6 has had a few small issues since its release. Some issues are caused by the game and some aren't. For example, the developers have pointed out that for everyone who can't install the game after buying it, it's not their fault. It's not on their end. It's because of the Microsoft Store. This mostly affects PC players. Sometimes, after buying a game on the Microsoft Store, clicking install does nothing. If this happens, it's caused by two things. You may need to update gaming services on your PC, or the Microsoft Store might be having issues. Try installing the game through the Xbox app on your PC. That's what I did, and it worked. They're aware of the problem but say it's not their fault, and they can't do much since they don't develop the Microsoft Store. They also explained that a lot of graphical issues, especially game crashes after a few minutes, weren't entirely due to an optimization problem with Forza Horizon 6, but were actually caused by hardware issues. You should know that graphics card manufacturers, especially Nvidia, keep their graphics cards updated for a while. But after a few years, they only continue to update the most recent graphics cards. And the problem especially affects slightly older graphics cards, those from the Pascal architecture. So the generation of graphics cards like the GTX 1050, 1060, 1070, and so on. The 1080 or 1080 Ti, for example, are still very good graphics cards. The problem is that they were built on an architecture called Pascal, which hasn't been updated by Nvidia for several months. There are no new drivers being released. However, you need to have a recent driver to be able to play Forza Horizon 6. So, for some people with these graphics cards, the game will work, and for others, it won't. Where I think they really messed up is that they could have mentioned it somewhere on the page that lists the components needed to play Forza Horizon 6, sure. They show the minimum and recommended specs, etc. But it's not mentioned anywhere. What I mean by that is, in the minimum specs, they ask for a 1650, but for example, a 1080 is more powerful than a 1650. But even if it's more powerful, because of its older architecture, it's possible that the game just won't work. It was also confirmed that all AMD graphics cards with the Polaris and Vega architecture are simply not supported by Forza Horizon 6. If you have these graphics cards, don't buy the game, get it on Xbox, or upgrade your graphics card. For those who are having sound issues, and I know some of you have problems with crackling sound, or sound that starts to bug out and lag behind the game, the developers explain that they are working on an update that will fix this problem. In the meantime, there is a small temporary solution that works. If you have this bug, press Ctrl-Alt Delete on your PC. Then open the Task Manager and scroll through the list of processes that are currently running to find Forza Horizon 6.6x, or you can press the F key on your keyboard to go to those that start with F, like Forza Horizon. Right-click on Forza Horizon 6, 6.x. Go to Details, it will open another window. Right-click again on Forza Horizon 6.x. Then click on Set Affinity and disable CPU 0. Click OK, and the problem should be gone. However, you have to repeat this each time you restart Forza Horizon 6. Until the developers release an official patch, this solution works. They are also aware that there is a bug in the game that causes the frame rate to drop sharply after a few dozen minutes. Basically, the game runs very smoothly, and without you doing anything special, all of a sudden the performance drops and the game runs at 30 frames per second instead of 90 like it was just moments before. Of course, the developers explain that the game's optimization will be improved in the coming months with future updates. Obviously, a patch will be released specifically for this bug. In the meantime, there's also a little trick that lets you fix this. So, either you restart your Forza Horizon 6, it's really simple, but it allows you to reset the amount of RAM the game will use. Because since there's a RAM leak, that's how it is. Or, for some people, the bug can also be caused by the Bluetooth drivers. Because indeed, some people play with a controller using a cable, but there are also people who play with the controller wirelessly on the PC. And it's true that the Bluetooth system, the Bluetooth drivers, sometimes we don't update them because we never use them. Update your Bluetooth drivers. Or when the issue occurs, just plug your controller in with a cable to play via USB. This should prevent further problems until an official update is released. Another problem, which has already been partially fixed, and I admit that for me, that's what ruins the game experience the most, is the aggressiveness of the AI in street races and sometimes in cross-country races. It's a problem that's more and more noticeable as you move up in performance category and AI difficulty. But really, the worst is street races where the AI, I don't know if it's bugged or intentionally aggressive, but at every turn, they're on your bumper. At every turn, they push you. In street races, there are often many turns. And when 12 AI racers enter a turn together, they panic and act unpredictably. Still, they started to improve the situation a little bit with an update that came out Tuesday night, just after the game's release. The Day 1 patch fixed things a bit. It's better, but it's still not enough. They're working on this problem as a priority, even though they explain that they still need a little more time to collect data from different players so they know exactly which parameters to adjust to improve Forza Horizon 6's AI. Something quite interesting in this text is also the mention of updates for Forza Horizon 6, meaning the seasonal updates. The first one just arrived, and the second will come in 4 weeks. The updates will indeed be monthly, and they will add cars, new content, which could be clothing for the character, horns, that kind of thing, but also new features, so we can still keep our fingers crossed and hope for the arrival of neon lights in the game. In the meantime, for me, there's an issue that the developers haven't addressed, and I'd like to hear your opinion about it in the comments. I know the community is a bit divided on this, but I think what's happening right now is over the top. With the Autodrive in Forza Horizon 6, they've added a system that literally lets the game play for you. Now, I can understand if it's something you can activate in the open world, and still, I admit I have a hard time understanding. Because we're talking about a car game, an open world with a beautiful map, so not driving is kind of a shame in a game where that's literally the core of the gameplay. But above all, what I find absurd is that in the Forza Horizon 6 beta I was able to test a few weeks ago, before the official release, this autopilot could only be used in the open world, not in races. And for some reason in the final game, this feature is now available in races. So, there are people who do all the Rivals events with the Autodrive system. There are people who play through the entire career mode of the game without ever driving the car themselves. It's the car that drives itself most of the time. And I think that's something that, in the long run, well, for me, I don't care. It doesn't change anything for my own game. But I think that in the long run, it's something that's going to make players get bored of the game quickly, because they'll have finished it without ever having any difficulty, since the game did everything for them. I'm pretty sure this feature will be counterproductive for the game's well-being in the coming months and years. So honestly, I'd like it to go back to how it was in the beta, with Autodrive if you want in the open world, but never during races, not even the simplest ones, never. Share your thoughts in the comments. That's all for today's Horizon 6 news. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Bye.